Why an accurate census is so important. To view the full article, click the first link in the description below. In 2010, 74% of households contacted by the Census Bureau filled out and mailed back forms. As of Friday morning, the response rate for this year's count sat at 63%. The plan to move the data collection deadline back to October 31 also included a proposal to shift the delivery of reapportionment data from December 2020 to April 2021. Aside from concerns over data collection inaccuracy, the most obvious political consideration is that taking extra time would lead to delays in the delivery of reapportionment data. The numbers that control how House districts are drawn until next year, after the president's current term ends. Mr. Trump announced last month that he would seek to exclude undocumented residents from reapportionment data, something that a Democratic administration could most likely undo before the data is released. Democrats in the House are pushing for the next round of coronavirus stimulus legislation to include a stipulation moving the reapportionment deadline back to next year. This would presumably free up the Census Bureau to continue collecting field data for a longer period. But the Senate's Republican leadership has so far expressed no interest in the proposal. I'm hoping that the Senate will include a provision in the COVID bill that gives the census the time that it had been counting on to deal with the ramifications of this disease, which tied it up in knots for months, Dr. Miller said. They're in a very, very hard position now, and unless we get more time, this is just going to be a train wreck. These kinds of debates are not entirely new, and this year's fandango has a particular historical resonance with the census of exactly 100 years ago. In 1920, the country was also reeling from a pandemic. It also had just been through World War I, and many displaced people had flooded into the country from across Europe, prompting questions about how and whether to count them. In 2010, 74% of households contacted by the Census Bureau filled out and mailed back forms. As of Friday morning, the response rate for this year's count sat at 63%. To view the full article, click the first link in the description below.